Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy Friday the 13th, and what better way to celebrate this day and what better video to make on this day than a paranormal ghost story experience. When I first started uploading videos on my channel, I made like an introduction video talking about myself, and I talked about how I wanted to share some creepy stories that have happened to me and my family, and I've never gotten around to actually saying them besides that one video I made with Joseph talking about his basement ghost, and we really didn't even get into much detail about that story. So I finally wanted to sit down and talk about some of the stories. So if you do enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to see more, and I will definitely post more of these experiences. But let's just get into the stories. First thing I'm going to talk about is what happened when we first moved into this house. The area we moved into is a very new area, and like when we first moved here, there was nothing here but farmland. Especially around Halloween, creepy things start to happen around the neighborhood. Like, I heard stories about other people and things that have happened to this house. A lot of them happen around Halloween time. Like Joseph's basement ghost, the month of October, it bugged him every single day, and as soon as October ended, like Halloween ended, it stopped. Like, he never experienced anything ever again. But when we first moved into this house, there was not much furniture or anything. Above our fireplace, the only thing we had was a stereo, and in order to turn on the stereo, you had to turn on the volume, and that would turn on the stereo. Kitchen here and our living room's right here, like they're connected, and it's like an open space. So she was just in the kitchen, and the radio was not on. Like, it was completely off, and all of a sudden the radio turned on and started blasting a radio station. My mom got so freaked out because the radio was not on and no one else was home besides her at the time. She walked over to the radio to see it, like what the heck, so she turned it off, and then after that nothing happened. September rolled around, my friend from school came over. Every single person that was home was in the living room, and we were all watching a movie. So it was my friend, her brother, and my little siblings, as well as my mom. My mom was sitting in the kitchen. All of a sudden we heard the garage door slam closed, and we were like, oh, is my dad home? So I walked into my laundry room to see if my dad was home, and he wasn't home. I went to actually open up the garage door, and the garage was empty and no one was there. So we don't understand like what caused the door to slam close, because our garage door is really heavy. How would it just open and close? Like, that was really creepy, and then we were all scared to leave the living room after. So this was probably the creepiest thing that ever happened in this house. Stefan was a baby. He was upstairs sleeping. My dad wasn't home at the time. It was like really late at night. We were waiting for him to come home. Everyone was in the kitchen / living room, and we were all just watching TV and all just talking. It was getting late. Nick wanted to go upstairs to go to bed, so he said, okay guys, I'm going to bed, I'm going upstairs. He walked over, because like our living room area is here, and then there's like a hallway and the stairs are here. So he started walking down the hallway, and then all of a sudden he like comes back, and his face was like pale white. His face looked like he literally just saw a ghost. He was pale white, and he was just like so emotionless. Like, he just looked in total shock, and he's like, where's Stefan? And my mom's like, what do you mean where's Stefan? He's upstairs sleeping. And he's like, no, like actually, where's Stefan? He's like, I just saw a little boy dressed all in white walking down the hallway. And my mom's like, well, Stefan's upstairs sleeping. He's like, that's impossible. Like, I thought I saw him. Like, it had to be him. So then we were all sitting in the kitchen like terrified, because Nick looks so terrified, and Nick's like never scared. We were all so creeped out. We were all just sitting there like, okay, where's Stefan? Like, does anyone want to go check up on him? Like, finally my mom went upstairs to go check on Stefan, and he was in his crib sleeping. And at that time, I don't even think he was able to walk because he was so small. So my mom came downstairs, and she was so creeped out. That's so weird. Like, why would he just see, like, that's my biggest fear, to just see a little kid walking down a hallway and like singing and like going around the rosy. Like, that is just like my biggest fear. So for that to happen to him, like, that was just so creepy. Another thing that happened that's really creepy, and this is not really to do with like ghosts or like spirits, it's kind of paranormal, but everyone always talks about this story because it's always so creepy. And till this day, no one understands how it happened and like how it worked. But basically, my dad was hunting, and he was like out of town up north. Mary Angela, and my dad, when she was younger, she was such a daddy's girl. Like, she like cried when my dad went away. Like, she didn't want him to leave. My dad was hunting, we were home. Okay, so I think she was sleeping in my mom's room. Like, they went to bed. Marantha woke up, and she's like, oh, is daddy home? And my mom's like, no. Marantha's like, no, daddy came home last night. He came home, and he walked into the bedroom. He picked me up and hugged me, and then we went to sleep, and I was lying down on his chest. And my mom's like, Marantha, like, dad did not come home last night. She's like, no, he came home, he hugged me. My mom was like, oh, whatever, it was probably just a dream. You probably dreamt about dad. So my mom didn't think of anything of it until my dad came home. My mom started telling the story. She's like, oh, Marantha missed you so much. She had a dream about you. My dad was like, what was the dream? And my mom told him the dream. He was like, oh my gosh, I had the same dream. He, like, when he goes hunting, sometimes he sleeps in a cabin, sometimes he sleeps in just his pickup truck. So he was just sleeping in his pickup truck, and he had a dream that he came home home. He walked to the front door, walked up the stairs, he opened the door to my mom's room, walked into her room, and he saw Marianza sleeping, and Marianza was like, "Daddy," and she put her hands up to go hug him, and he picked up Marianza and then fell asleep, and he was hugging her like this, like, and she was sleeping on his chest. And then he said it was so weird because when I woke up, I was so confused because I was in my truck and I was sleeping like this, like hugging myself. And she's like, "What night did you dream this?" He's like, "I think it was like a Wednesday night or something." And my mom's like, "That happened on a Wednesday night too." The whole thing was just so creepy that they would both dream the same dream, and it was kind of like an out-of-body experience, my dad said. Like, he just said it was like so real. Like, when he woke up, he was actually like really confused that he wasn't home. And my dad actually has like a lot of creepy ghost stories from when he was younger. So if I ever can like retell his stories, I'm going to, because his stories are always so creepy. And when my friends would come over, he would always tell them and like get us so creeped out. But yeah, then other than that, just like creepy things happen. Like, a lot of things that just happen to me is I see a lot of shadows. I don't know if it's because like my glasses or not, but if you ever watch my Home Alone video, when I'm home alone, so much noise happens. Like, it's not even funny. Like, and when I'm home alone, it never feels like I'm actually home alone because I just hear people talking, I hear like things moving, I hear doors closing. I know it could be the house, but it's just really creepy. And yeah, but that's all I'm going to talk about today. I'm definitely considering doing a second part talking about more about these things, and there's more creepy things that happen. So just give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and make sure you subscribe. I post every Monday and Friday, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!